Hello everyone and welcome to this video paint through of the Cthulhu Soldier. This is going to be a couple of hours painting and split into 30 minutes. I will be splitting into a couple of parts. Depends how long it will take. In these videos you're going to see me painting this character from scratch until finish. I'm going to explain you different ideas and techniques I use along the way to make this a final piece, and hopefully the knowledge you will gain from it will help you in your own creations for whatever work you're going to do, concept art, illustration, or for book covers. So yeah, let's start with it. So first of all, I'm going to explain a little bit what I have done in this overview of my Photoshop. I have prepared the canvas, one layer which I'm going to work. I like to start my piece by putting something like a different color in the background, so it's not white and too bright into your eyes. I've also prepared a palette of different colors that I think I'm going to use for this character. We're also going to make it like this, so have more space for you to see what I'm going to be doing. So I'm starting with a simple brush. This some of my collections I have assembled along the years. It's just a simple chalk brush. And let's going to start with the background. So the idea behind this character is that it's if you have read about, let me just put something here so it helps me out, some of the colors I'm going to be needing. Yeah, better. If you have read HP Lovecraft, he's a master of horror. He have created from his imagination, or what they said that he seen actually this monsters and that, the Cthulhu, old god. So this character I'm creating is from that universe. So let's say it's some kind of a human that's been transformed from being a normal human being to this soldier of that old god. Somehow this entity transformed his will, and in our concept here, it's a female. So yeah, now I'm just digging into the background, thinking of what this scene could be. I'm thinking that it might be like in a deep sea kind of a environment, underwater, and some kind of a mountain, or just some kind of a ship being sink. Now what I'm doing, I'm just color picking the colors I think that will match my my scene. And if you see, I don't zoom in at all. I just like that, and establishing the composition and the whole idea of the piece. After it sticks well, we can start zooming in and all that. But first, we have to apply the different situations. So what I'm doing here is, now I'm thinking that the light comes in from the above. Since it's in the water, our light source is the sun. So the sun comes in through the water and reflecting and bouncing in through the water and onto our character, which is not here yet. Yeah, at first it might not make any sense at all. It looks so... It's like just smudges. But later on, I hope there'll be something of it. So I'm using a Wacom Cintiq, an older version. I've put some custom keys for making smaller and bigger my brush size, so I don't spend time increasing and decreasing the size. Now I mostly use for now a bigger brush just to get everything in the scene. Okay, so far so good. Now let some more light come in here. So I'm thinking this might be some kind of a sinking ship or something. Maybe some rocks have been attached to it along a period of time. Or maybe it's some kind of a temple. All right. Something is showing here. We have somehow established a background. Now I think it's time to work a little bit on the character. I'm going to put another layer so I have them separate, just in case I screw up and I have to do adjustments. Now this is down here. Let me do it like this. Down here is my palette of colors for the character. So if you know from the Cthulhu universe, this beast, this being, has like dragon wings and octopus tentacles from its face. So we're going to try and make this human being like sort of being twisted as an octopus. So I prefer the orange color, I think, this dark red. So let's just start from here, from the head. We'll see, we might change it. Just a simple startup idea. Don't be afraid to experiment, to use unusual colors and all that, because in the end you want to create something that's unique, and something that inspires you, something that you want to show to the rest of the world. At least that's what I think. So here I'm putting some more brighter colors, but I shouldn't. Let's just leave it simple and make like a silhouette. It's a good idea to make a silhouette of the character you're creating, so you know what to work on and not get let's say, confused and or get scared of all the details you have to do, the light and source and the textures and the perspective, the shadows, the proportions and all of that. So by doing a silhouette, you get the form of the character correct. At least you think it's correct. If you have to check it with anatomy wise. If you care about that a lot, it could be stylized. It depends, of course, on the type of work you're doing. If it's just for you, for your personal work, you might not care that much. So you see I'm adding some tentacles here. So this area should be the head. Some more tentacle-like arm. Going down. It might be also like hair, since it's transformed. So there's the silhouette of a sort of a humanoid now. It's the shape of a woman. All right. Now I'm going to go for a bit darker tone. Maybe establish some more details here and start to flesh it out a little bit. Let's go for this. Maybe like a tentacle here, starting from the head. Somehow. Now there's different ways you can do it. You can start it as like a line drawing, and then detail it out, and then add colors and all of that. I like to start with colors and lights and shadows and all of that. So it's easier for me to create it because I want to see it as faster as possible, what I'm doing, and from that I can work it and flesh it out and see the final thing. So adding another tentacle here. And some little bit of face starting to show up here. A little bit more of octopusy. Yeah, so now it's like just separating the shapes, see what works, what's not. Some of it might not work in the end, and I have to redo it from scratch, perhaps. That depends. So, like, don't be afraid to lose some of the things you've created. Don't be attached to your piece from early on, or don't be attached to it at all. Like, always think that what might be improved or not, what can be changed. So this area, I'm thinking maybe adding something humanoid, maybe adding some female feature, like adding some breasts, but not make it, you know, too much sexy. We don't going for that feel. A bit more realistic. But you need to show, like I want to show that's this is a female. This is a woman that's been probably on a boat, like maybe going for some vacations with her friends, and for some reason they were at the wrong place at the wrong time, and they got the situation where where the all god was sleeping or something, and or they were looking. So you see, I'm just saying you a story from my mind for this character, because the deeper you dig into the story, and you add elements of it onto your character, the more realistic and believable it's going to be in the end. So let's say that that Cthulhu wanted her for a soldier. He killed everybody else, or he made her to kill everybody of her own crew, like maybe her friends or family or whatever. And the skull she's going to hold, probably maybe a skull or something. I'm thinking like in this area, maybe some kind of skull of her loved ones. Yeah, pretty dark stuff. Yeah, maybe a hand here, which doesn't look like a hand at first. Yeah, so this is going to take a while to become a final piece that's going to resemble what we're talking about. But patience is a virtue. You see, I'm jumping around the areas to establish the whole piece. Drinking some tea for my throat gets sore. Okay, some of this area. Maybe add some bit more like octopus head maybe. Okay, so far so good. Even though you might not recognize how it's going to be, but in the end, it will be probably. So I'm starting to add a little bit more of a detail here of some tentacles. Maybe go a bit lighter here because I think, from what I remember, the octopus tentacles are white at the very edge. Maybe I could zoom in a little bit. So painting everything by hand, not using anything inside of this, any photographs or anything, just paint the whole thing. Try to give it a more of a traditional feel to it. It could be tedious, but find some fun in it, like the beauty of it, to actually make all of it as if you would be doing a traditional painting with, let's say this resembles a little bit, maybe like markers or something. You see I'm color picking from nearby areas to save some time. It's not that I'm in a hurry, but I like to work fast. I'm just getting used to it. I take my time, but if I took it slower, it might take a lot longer. But if you're in a tight deadline for some client, then you have to work fast. Then it's just no other way. So it's good to practice in your own creations, your free time, to work fast so you can apply it in the client work. Let's say you have a couple of hours to do a finished piece for somebody that's in a rush, and he'll pay you well for that. Well, you have to do it if you want to make it as a living artist. If you want to be able to pay your bills in the end. So you see in this area, I'm starting to add some face a little bit, skin tone. Probably not as natural as a human being right now, because this is a transformed version of a human. And the tentacle goes through her face here. Maybe let's add like an eyebrow here, and maybe a little bit an eye or something. And some nose area here. A mouth maybe. I'm not sure yet how the face will be shown. If she's going to smile or not, or be serious, or something in between. way about this character. Even though she attained, she still has her bones inside her body, the human skeleton, but it has been altered with the properties of an octopus DNA, and it's very flexible now. Yeah, adding some more. So light comes like this, probably. So we're trying to light it accordingly, even though it bounces also from here, here. Getting some more dark areas here, shadows, shadow part of the tentacles. Yeah. I think I'd like to make some of the background pass through here. So I'm gonna delete it a little bit here. Make more space. So I think we're coming close to the 30 minutes for this video. I'm going to slowly to wrap it up, the part 1 for this one, and I hopefully see you in the next one.